Hello, Tiger fans. Welcome inside the WLCU studios at Campbellsville University here on the CU Sports Network. Matt Payton with you as we get ready to kick off football season this weekend, the first installment of the Perry Thomas Show. And to have the Perry Thomas Show, you need the coach. Perry Thomas, coach, a sight for sore eyes.
Yeah.
It seems like we were sitting here a few months ago and a long break ahead of us, but as they seem to do every year, they come a little quicker, it seems, and here we are this weekend, the Fighting Tigers kick off.
Time to play a little football, and we're excited about it. We've had a great camp, and last weekend watching the Fork Bank Bowl out here and seeing all those games has kind of got you ready to play a little football, play some college football.
What does Coach Perry Thomas? You get some time off there in the summer. You go from recruiting to spring ball after the conclusion of the season, and you're still working with kids over the summer. But what do you do to kind of unplug, if anything, to just get away and recharge the battery a bit?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you really get away. I mean, you're still a lot of recruiting and camps and so forth in the summer, and actually getting pre-work done on games. But played a lot of golf. I mean, you couldn't tell by looking at my game, but played a lot of golf and took a couple of little short trips. But enjoyed a little bit of time away. And even when we play golf, though, it just means you got to come in a little earlier in the morning so you can get things done, or work a little later at night. But football, college football is a 24-hour day job, and it's every day. I mean, you're constantly on the go. But I did have a great off season, a great summer, and ready to play some ball now.
And let's rewind a little bit, Coach. Let's go back to recruiting season just a bit. Talk me through where you were and your feelings on the recruiting class in February and March, as you kind of have guys trickle in a little late, and then seeing some of those guys now on campus. Walk me through that a bit.
Well, I mean, it was a busy off season. I mean, every year you got to bring in quite a few numbers here, and then also while you're getting those numbers, replace those studs that you lose to graduation or whatever. So it was a busy off season for us, and our biggest recruiting was getting staffing. We lost a number of staff members, lost the entire defensive staff. So we had to get 3 new coaches over there, and then another offensive coach. So that was our biggest recruiting thing. And when you're going into the recruiting season and you're losing coaches at the same time, that hurts your recruiting. So a lot of coaches had added work this year to get those guys in. It was a busy off season up until the last week before camp started, busy with recruiting and getting guys in. And we feel really blessed with this class. I mean, I think we've had 3 or 4 really solid classes in a row now, and for the most part, it shows up in our play. Sometimes we're really young, and those guys got to take some lumps. But we've had really solid classes. This year, we had to go out and get some immediate needs. Quarterback. We lost 2 running backs to graduation, and a couple of defensive spots, and we had to go out and get some guys that could come in as freshmen and step in there. And I've been pleased through camp with those guys. We're going to have a number of freshmen on the field, true freshmen on the field, that are going to be impact players.
And then as you kind of finalize and finish up recruiting to some degree, you move into spring ball. What did spring ball look like in early 2018?
Yeah, it was a great spring for us. We got a lot done. I thought defensively we grew quite a bit. Offensively, we were still trying to figure out the quarterback situation there. We've been blessed the last 4 years with 2 tremendous quarterbacks, 2 All-American type guys. So, that's been a work in progress, but it was really pleased with the offensive line play. And it was a good, safe spring. We only had 1 key injury, that's going to affect us throughout the season. But other than that, we came out of it pretty healthy, and we got a lot done.
So now you get here to camp, you get all these guys together, you've got 140, 150 Tigers running around in early August, and you get into the camp. What were some of the main focus areas for the Tigers? Obviously, with some of those young guys, just I would think learning the playbooks and the different schemes are awfully tough.
Well, a big part of it, once again, was getting the staff up to par, because quite a few of them are new. So you had to get them up to par on our way of doing things, the culture of Campbellsville University, and our game planning, playbooks and so forth. And then all those new guys that are stepping in. You're talking about freshman quarterbacks battling for the position. You're talking about freshman running backs battling for positions, and some other key spots. So you had to get all those guys, going within a 2-week camp period before game week, and also find out who's going to be in your top 2. So you're not only teaching guys that are going to have an impact, but you're getting them ready to find out which guys can actually go out there on Saturday and compete for you at this level right now. And it's been a busy camp, and it's still a work in progress. We still have a lot of growing to do with this young squad.
Well, we're going to step away and take a quick break. Stay with us here. We've got a lot to cover with Coach Perry Thomas. We'll look at the Tigers' schedule. We'll talk about some of these new coaches for the Campbellsville University staff. We'll also take a look around the Mid-South Conference, the largest conference in college football, 21 teams with the addition of Kaiser University. We'll talk to Coach Thomas about some of that as well as taking a look ahead to this matchup with Faulkner this weekend. So stay with us here on the Perry Thomas Show.
Campbellsville Baptist Church, a church where all ages grow in the love of God. From children and youth worship to sports ministry and mission outreach, Campbellsville Baptist Church shares the love of God both in and outside of the sanctuary. Join us for worship on Sunday mornings at 9 and small group Bible study at 10:30. That's Campbellsville Baptist Church, the people of God sharing God's love because God's love changes the world.
Citizens Bank and Trust Company serves the Taylor County area with 3 convenient locations. Our online and mobile options can make your banking experience even easier, with features such as digital wallet, Touch ID login with our mobile app, and online deposits. Mobile banking also gives you the online control of your Citizens Bank debit card. Along with our banking locations, we also offer a no-charge ATM in the Student Commons on the campus of Campbellsville University. Citizens Bank and Trust in Campbellsville. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back, Tiger fans. Thanks for staying with us here on the Perry Thomas Show, the first edition of the 2018 Perry Thomas Show, and several of them to come. This one here, though, we want to catch you up to speed on some of the things that have gone on in Tiger football. Coach Thomas mentioned it there in the first segment, a lot of turnover. The coaching staff will address that now. Coach, on the offensive side of things, you lose A.J. Strong, the former Tiger, moves on, and you bring in Gerald Cooper. Coach Cooper taking over some of the recruiting duties and other things as well. He was here in the spring, as well as Coach Bobby Burns, as you had mentioned. So those two guys get a little bit of a head start, but talk us through Coach Cooper, the only new addition to the offensive staff, able to retain Coach Crosby, Eugene Crosby on the offensive line, Coach Ricky Garris, the offensive coordinator, and then as well Matt Atwood.
Yeah, Coach Cooper's come in. He's our recruiting coordinator, and he coaches our running backs. And it was good to get him in February because he was able to come in and get a hand on recruiting somewhat, and also learn the package. And so he's been a big addition to our staff. He does a great job organization with the recruiting, which is a huge part of our job. And, you know, we all recruit, including myself, but he kind of helps to organize it and keep us on our toes on what's going on. So it's been great to get him in. And, you know, we also have Hunter Brown. You know, Hunter Brown's volunteering and helping us this year. He was coaching the quarterback. So it gives us a guy that has a immediate name with those guys, you know, throughout NAIA football, and gets immediate respect because of what he's done behind the center. And he's done a really good job in the spring for us and in fall camp.
And you touched on Coach Cooper and some of these other coaches having to get up to speed. Hunter's a guy that steps in. He understands the playbook. He understands maybe better than anyone what Coach Rick Garris is looking for from the offensive coordinator standpoint. So you talk about that immediate name, the ability for Hunter to be a resource for some of these young quarterbacks, I would think is invaluable.
Well, it is, because all our quarterbacks are young. You know, Jeremy Hines is a receiver for us, but he plays a little quarterback, and he's the only older statesman we got back there. But the other ones, Zach Kessler's a sophomore, and then Josh Davis, Tyler Sophia, and Mark Gardner, they're all freshmen. So to have him back there, because he understands, once again, not just how to play the position, but how to play the position for us in our package and with our philosophy and style of doing things.
We also talked about Coach Bobby Burns. Coach Burns takes over for Will Snyder. Matt Brown joins the staff. He's a former Tiger, so nice to have Matt Brown back. And then you also add Damian Gooseby there to the defensive line. So 3 new guys, and I know you have a big hand in the defense. That's your background has been, and you got 3 new guys, kind of clay to work with, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a work in progress. I mean, 3 new guys. Fortunately, Coach Burns was here in the spring, so he got a little grasp of the defense and our style. But Coach Gooseby and Coach Brown come in, you know, right before we get started, and we lost our entire defensive staff other than me. And so it's been a work in progress with those guys, just learning how we do things, learning the defense. You come from different programs that may run a similar defense, but it's still different. And so they've had to come in and make some adjustments, but they've done a great job. Coach Brown, he's a former player here, played back when Coach Garris and Coach Atwood was here, and this is his dream job. He's always wanted to coach here, so he's hungry and gung-ho, ready to go. Coach Gooseby actually played for Coach Crosby back in the past at Albany State, and he was a D lineman for Coach Crosby at that time, and he's been a great pickup on our staff because he really relates well with those D linemen, and when you look at him, you see a big one technique D lineman down there. So, those guys, very pleased with those guys and the work they've done so far, and I think we have a good staff.
Compliment to Coach Gooseby. He's definitely stuffed a few running lanes in his day.
No doubt.
No doubt about that. And then, so let's transition now, Coach. You got this 2018 schedule, 10 games on the slate, 5-5 split home road. You start out with a home game against Faulkner, 2 games then on the road. You'll travel down to Florida, a big trip down to Florida, your longest road trip of the season, and then you'll also head over to the University of the Cumberlands. The first 3 games, your kind of look there, those first 3 weeks for the Tigers.
Well, they're going to be challenges. I mean, our schedule's a definite challenge every year, but it's really a challenge this year with so many new guys, so many new faces on the staff and players on the field against some really good teams. And you look at the Faulkner game, and we'll talk about it later, but they got a complete staff, new staff, so we have no clue what they're going to do, and they're always probably the most talented team we play. The last time we went to Weber, they beat us. In a tight game, but they beat us, and after that game, I think we won 8 straight. But you go down there, you're dealing with September weather, so it's the heat, the chances of storms. Last time we went down there, it was really hot, and then we had about a 2-hour, 3-hour lightning delay. And it's a long trip with a young team, so they have to respond to that. Then you go to the University of Cumberland, who's going to play really physical football. And with that young squad, they got to be able to really respond to those atmospheres and those different things going on. So it's a tough start, but it's one that I think we'll be prepared to go out and compete in and get us ready for our divisional play.
And then you come back, those 4 games kind of in the middle of the schedule. You'll welcome Point to Campbellsville. Right. You'll travel to Grayson, Kentucky to take on Kentucky Christian University. Then you get Bethel at home for homecoming. Then you'll make a trip over to Cumberland University down in Lebanon, Tennessee. Those middle 4 games, and those are some important games there as you start up divisional play.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. So the Point game will be our last out-of-league play. And they're, if you remember from last year, a tremendously talented team, and they do a great job, so they'll come up here. And then, those next games, you're going into some divisional play with some talented teams. KCU last year was really young. They're going to be a year older now, second year of that staff, getting things done. Bethel's got a brand new staff. They're the RPO gurus. I mean, tons of books about that stuff going on. And they should have beat us last year. And that was our first game back, I think, after a 28-day layoff or something like that. So they're going to be talented. So, I mean, no matter how you look at it, it's going to be a tough chunk of games right there as we move into divisional play to get us ready for those 3. At the end, 2 of those, national top 7 programs last year. Yeah,
and those last 3 games, you've got Georgetown here at home, or on the road at Georgetown. Then you finish up 2 home games, Lindsey Wilson, and then senior day, it'll be Cincinnati Christian visiting the Tigers. And so those last 3 are going to be critical that'll really, maybe at that point decide, how good or bad this season is.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. I mean, you go into those games, and if you're having a great year, you need those games to get into playoffs. If you're having a marginal year, you need those games to have a winning season and to feel good about yourself at the end of the year. And we're facing a number of teams with new coaches. So a lot of different looks, Cincinnati Christian, Cumberland University, Faulkner, all of those, Bethel. So, I mean, that's 4 teams right there off the top of my head that's got new staffs. And so we have no clue really what to expect from those teams. I mean, it's going to be a difficult chore, but everybody in the Mid-South is facing that same chore because this is a tough league, and each division is tough, and ours is obviously, in our mind, the toughest, but it's a tough league to play in, so you got to come ready to play each week.
We'll step away, come back, and we'll look at some of those divisions, the Appalachian and the Sun, as well as the Bluegrass, which the Tigers are in, and we'll also get Coach Thomas's thoughts on this matchup coming up with Faulkner this weekend. Stay with us here on the Perry Thomas Show.
Campbellsville University Cosmetology teaches beauty inside and out. The cosmetology students at CU receive salon experience while learning in a contemporary environment from faculty who have worked in the industry. With areas of study ranging from hairstyling to salon management, Campbellsville University Cosmetology can help you turn your passion into a profession. Kickstart your cosmetology career today. Visit campbellsville.edu/cosmetology.
Welcome back, Tiger fans. Matt Payton here in the WLCU studio as we visit with the head coach of Fighting Tiger football, Perry Thomas. The Tigers get set to kick off with Faulkner this weekend. It's a 1:30 kickoff tailgate show at 1 p.m. here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. And we want to kind of pick the coach's brain about the divisions, 3 divisions, 21 teams in the conference, coach, largest football conference in America at any level. And you add Kaiser University to the Sun Conference. We'll start with the Sun Conference, coach. Southeastern pegged to be the cream of the crop down there. You'll see a Sun Conference team in Weber International down there early in the season. So also Faulkner is Sun Conference as well. Yeah. So you'll actually open up with 2 Sun Conference clubs. Walk me through that division. That's a tough one and one that's kind of gaining steam, and you can see the improvements down there over the last few years.
Tremendously talented programs down there, well coached. You look at the locations of them, Florida teams, talent everywhere down there. You look at Alabama, those places. So well coached, tremendously talented programs down there. They do a great job. And you know, Southeastern has kind of run the show the last couple of years with Faulkner right there behind them. Weber's right there approaching all of them. And some of those new teams are going to come in and have an impact also. So it's going to be a treat to watch them play. You know, we get films of all those teams at some point during the year, so it's good to watch them play and see how it turns out. But I think it'll come down to Southeastern and Faulkner.
And you see, we made that trip down to Naples last year to take on, or Ave Maria to take on Ave Maria, and you see some of the facilities there, and Kaiser University also known for maybe some of their facilities, and you can see in short order how some of these schools, you get on the right coaching staff, they're going to be able to build big-time powers.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Weber's, I think they just broke ground on a new facility they're building down there that's going to really take off. And I talked to Edward Waters' coach last week, and he said they're getting ready to break ground on new facilities. So all the programs are trying to gain ground and get the nice places, and they're committed to the Mid-South and getting things done. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes down there. You know, Weber's outside shot to make an impact. They're always strong and fast. So it's going to be fun to watch them.
And then we kind of transition. You look at the Appalachian Division, a lot of familiar names there in the Appalachian point. You'll see University of the Cumberlands. You'll see, obviously, Cumberland's the team that Campbellsville University has played the most over the years to this point. But then also Reinhardt has kind of been the guy to beat there, and they've had some real success into the Final Four last year, or national runner-up. Yeah, so national runner-up. Reinhardt's still the cream of the crop in the Appalachian Division.
I mean, I think it's they're probably going to stay a little bit ahead of everyone. Once again, location, as they say in real estate. And you know, I mean, they're well coached, and they just have that thing rolling right now. And if I'm not mistaken, the only teams that actually beats Reinhardt sometimes is us. You know, and they're just running the thing really well. But University of Cumberland's strong as always, and U-Pike. You know, those teams will make some noise and points. So St. Andrews is in over there also, and I look for them to really make a run. Last year it's their first year, and they actually had a very successful year. Good location again, and coaching staff seem to do things right.
And then we transition here to the one that we'll keep the biggest eye on throughout the year, the Bluegrass Division, coach. The preseason rankings come out. Lindsey Wilson picked the win at Georgetown second, and the Tigers, they're at third. And you guys were the three teams that kind of ran that league last year, division last year. And the interesting thing here, Coach, and you go and look at this, all three of those programs are going to replace the quarterback, Hunter Brown and Dylan Beasley for Campbellsville and Lindsey Wilson. Unfortunately for Riley Hall, it appears that he may have decided to call it quits with concussion issues maybe, and you always hate to hear that. Riley Hall, best of luck in your future endeavors. But so Georgetown unexpectedly is going to be changing their quarterback as well. So some big time unknowns for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's an open league, and all of us have some good guys returning, but we all lost some key players, and we all go battle the coaching changes, and so it's going to come down to battles every week, and there's other teams in there that's going to make a dent and make some noise also. Bethel, new staff, and like I said, they should have beat us last year. They got a new staff, and they're going to be ready to go. KCU's improved. Cincinnati Christian's in a great location. Got a new staff, so we'll see how that goes. So it's going to be a powerful battle every week. I think three of us are in the top 20 preseason with us, Lindsey, and Georgetown. And last year we go 8-2, and our losses is a double overtime to Georgetown. I think finished 7th, and a loss to Lindsey. I think finished 5th maybe. So it's a tough league, and it's only going to get tougher as new teams come in 2019.
And one thing on the schedule too, it's kind of weird the way this plays out, but Kentucky Christian at Grayson and Cumberland University down in Lebanon, Tennessee have been two notoriously tough places for your teams to play for whatever reason, and we've seen low-scoring affairs at Grayson, wild games, and then high-scoring affairs at Cumberland University that you just come up short on. And so it's interesting to see both those on the schedule, both on the road. Those will be challenges no matter what those teams.
Yeah, there'll be big challenges, and Kentucky Christian is. Not only is it tough for us to play for some reason up there, but they're a very talented team. And then Cumberland University was one of those teams that I forgot. I mean, they got a new staff also. So we're going to see a new look from them, and it's probably going to be triple option stuff. And we always struggle down there. They're good games, but we always struggle down there for whatever reason. So we got our work cut out for us during this season, and I don't care how you look at it. The fans are going to enjoy every week of football this year.
Well, let's step away. We're going to come back. We're going to get Coach's thoughts on this 2018 roster, some names that you need to know as you follow the Tigers, and we'll also take a look at this matchup with Faulkner. So stay here on the Perry Thomas Show.
Here at Saloma Baptist Church, our mission and ministry extends beyond our walls. We are focused on teaching all ages about the love of Jesus, preparing them for a life of mission. We are committed to serving the local community and the world in the name of Jesus Christ. For more information on service times and mission opportunities, please visit our website at salomabaptist.com. We extend a warm welcome to you and your family here at Saloma Baptist Church.
My name is James C. Miller III, and I started to work at Taylor County Bank on July 1st, 1960. The bank was started because during the crash, the banks here failed, or at least one of them did. So there was a need for an additional bank in Taylor County. But the thing about our bank is this, that we had an old slogan back then. First in service, first in safety, first in convenience, and that's what we've always tried to do, and I think we still do.
The Perry Thomas Show rolls on here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you as we talk to the head coach of Fighting Tiger football. They get set to kick off with Faulkner this weekend. And Coach, you talked about it at the top of the show. A lot of new faces, a lot of new names for the Tigers, not only on the coaching staff, but obviously on the field as well. Talk to these Tiger fans. Who are some guys that they need to expect an impact from, whether they be returners or some of the new names as well?
Well, I mean, you look at some of the returners defensively. You have B.J. Pelt back at corner. He was first-team All-Conference last year. And then Darius Moore back at linebacker. He was first-team All-Conference last year. Both those guys will be back. Luke Andre Vassar up front on us on D-line. He's really held that down real well. And then offensively, of course, Kendon Young, first-team All-Conference player back. I'm missing one in my mind right now, but over, and then you got a whole host of new guys that go in that collection and play. Jordan Duff, I was thinking about Jordan as a receiver. He's been steady for us during his time here, and Jordan Brown's back in the lineup for us. And Jordan had a great year last year until the end of the season when he had some injuries and so forth. But I think we have some impact players on both sides of the ball, but a lot of new faces to go with them. Our quarterbacks got 2 freshmen right there vying for the position, and Tyler Sophia and Josh Davis, and both of those are battle-tested guys from high school, but they're from high school. So they're going to have to go through some growing pains, but I think you're going to see some good stuff out of the running backs when they're healthy. Rolling David Richardson, who came in last spring, David Richardson, then Darquan Richardson, a freshman. I think both of those are going to have tremendous years for us. And then we got some guys over on defense that I think are going to step up and really prove to be really good players for us. Mahari Sturgis, Trey Webb. Both of those had good years last year. They were banged up a little bit, but they finished with great years, and I think both of those will come back this year and play really stout for us.
And then an experienced offensive line as well with John Cheney, Trey Bender, Terrence Stewart. So you've got a lot of good pieces there on the offensive line to build around as well.
I mean, a big, strong line that has some experience, and all those guys can get after you. And we have some depth up there also. Andrew Regan, who we thought would compete for a starting position last year, he was a transfer kid for us. He had an injury, that he had brought with him, but he's healthy now, ready to go. So we're excited about that offensive line. We think that they might be the strongest part of our offense.
And then let's touch briefly here on Faulkner, and you've talked about the coaching change, so it's hard to get into a ton of X's and O's. You're in the spot where you're kind of going into this thing blind. You don't really know exactly what to expect out of this Faulkner team, but what you do know or think, what can you share with us?
Well, I mean, we don't know a ton because they are new staff. We have some ideas from their backgrounds a little bit, but they have all our film from last year and we have none on them. But offensively, we expect them to be some sort of an air raid type packages like they've been. Maybe run a little more arc type motion in the backfield and some more power game off of that stuff and play action. But we expect them to still throw the ball around and run a little tempo and be more air raid. And then defensively, I think they'll be in a 3-4 look, show some 4-man and 5-man at times. Walker banded up on the end, that type of stuff. But what we do know is they're going to be very talented, like they always are. We know that they're going to be able to stretch the field on you offensively. Huge offensive line, a couple of guys up there at 315 or more, big nose guards, and defensively they always got cats that can run around. So we know they're going to be one of the most talented teams we face, and we just have to go in and be sound fundamentally.
Get any sleep Friday night, this coming Friday night, will you?
Oh, yeah, I sleep well for a game. I'm serious. I sleep well for a game. I don't sleep well after a game. Win or lose, I guess my adrenaline's up. But before a game, I'll be in there knocked out.
Coach, best of luck to you this weekend.
You.
We'll do it again next week. The Tigers take on Faulkner University this Saturday. It's a home game at Finley Stadium. Come on out, support this Campbellsville University club. It's a 1:30 kickoff, the Tiger Tailgate Show at 1 p.m. here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. We'll see you next week here on the Perry Thomas Show.
A champion doesn't get days off. It takes determination and drive to realize goals. From long nights to early mornings. From the courts to the classrooms to online. At Campbellsville University, this is why we play. This is how we learn. This is where champions are made. Find your calling for a life change at campbellsville.edu.
Here at Saloma Baptist Church, our mission and ministry extends beyond our walls. We are focused on teaching all ages about the love of Jesus, preparing them for a life of mission. We are committed to serving the local community and the world in the name of Jesus Christ. For more information on service times and mission opportunities, please visit our website at salomabaptist.com. We extend a warm welcome to you and your family here at Saloma Baptist Church.
My name is James C. Miller III, and I started to work at Taylor County Bank on July 1st, 1960. The bank was started because during the crash, the banks here failed, or at least one of them did. So there was a need for an additional bank in Taylor County. But the thing about our bank is this, that we had an old slogan back then. First in service, first in safety, first in convenience, and that's what we've always tried to do, and I think we still do.
WLCU-TV, a service of Campbellsville University. Comcast Cable Channel 10.